Welcome to Depressed American. The show is all about finding holistic ways to deal with depression without medication. But even if you're on medication, this show will help you make additional improvements to your health. There's no fluff. We only talk about the highest leverage activities and behaviors you can do to feel good right away. That means you spend the least amount of time and money and you get the most health benefits so you can spend more time feeling happy and connected to your purpose. Depressed American has a new PDF out right now called 60-Second Sleep Secrets. If you are dealing with depression or you have sleep problems that contribute to depression and low mood, then you will want to pick up this short PDF right now. It's only $7 at the moment, but that's for a limited time because soon the price will increase to reflect the true value of the report. 60-Second Sleep Secrets shows you clinically proven ways to fall asleep in 60 seconds that you can implement tonight. I promise your life will not be the same after you stop tossing and turning for hours. Get more info at depressedamerican.com. And now, let's get to the show. Begin quote, "I was unable to function. Eventually, I became unfit for work." End quote. Most Americans take this one everyday thing for granted. Find out its true cost to individuals and society. You're not alone if you struggle with insomnia. According to the Gallup Healthways Wellbeing Index, nearly 30% of American adults suffer from insomnia. Almost 1/3 of Americans get less than 6 hours of sleep each night, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Fatigue begins to set in when you get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours per night. Neurons in the brain become overworked, which impairs your thinking, slows physical reactions, and disrupts emotional and mental health. These short-term side effects of sleep deprivation can wreak havoc in a person's life, including an 11.5 times increase in likelihood of a car crash while driving, worse cognitive impairment than alcohol intoxication, a decrease in productivity, loss of job opportunities, too much money spent on drugs and alcohol, increased healthcare costs, and that's just for starters. Chronic sleep deprivation can have even more drastic consequences, including an increased risk of obesity, heart disease, cognitive decline, anxiety, depression, and dementia. Sleep deprivation is a very costly burden to Americans and even causes more car crashes than alcohol intoxication. In this show today, you will learn how much insomnia impacts everyday Americans just like you, emotionally, physically, and financially. Drowsy driving is more dangerous than drunk driving. You probably didn't know that sleep deprivation causes more car crashes than drugs and alcohol combined. Over 91,000 crashes per year happen because of drowsy drivers. We may not give sleep deprivation enough credit for how dangerous it is. BMC Public Health published peer-reviewed research in 2020 that tested the performances of drowsy drivers versus drunk drivers. They found that tired drivers had slower reaction times than drunk drivers, and coffee did not help. It actually made their performance worse. The research study concluded that sleep deprivation has a greater impact on driving performance than too much alcohol. The Sleep Foundation found that if you have less than 5 hours of sleep, you're impaired the same as someone with a blood alcohol content of 0.08%, the legal limit. AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety reported that those who sleep for less than 4 hours in a 24-hour period are 11.5 times more likely to crash. I could quote even more studies and stats, but I think you get the point. Additionally, those with insomnia often take drugs and alcohol to cope with their fatigue. 1 beer while sleep deprived is equivalent to 6 beers for someone who got the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So if you add drugs and alcohol to the mix of sleep deprivation, then you have a disaster waiting to happen. This can lead to costly habit-forming behavior, resulting in further losses of money and health. Here's what happens when insomnia strikes for too long. This is a quote from a former teacher in the United Kingdom. Begin quote, "Lack of sleep combined with an excessive workload gradually caused me to become unable to function. I couldn't remember simple things or complete sentences or mundane tasks successfully. The more tired I became, the less I slept. Eventually, I could not meet my contractual obligations and became unfit for work. 4 months later, I still only sleep for an hour or two each night and I struggle to function. When I talked to my employer about it, she said she had sleepless nights and then changed the subject." End quote. This story is only one out of millions of stories about the chaos of sleep deprivation. People with insomnia can lose out on job promotions, pay raises, a new position, and much more. A lot of people report how hard it is to move up in their career once insomnia has taken over their life. Insomnia can even lead to being fired from a job. Due to their exhaustion, people with insomnia may find it difficult to maintain a full-time job, while no employer will risk giving their position to someone who can't adequately perform their job tasks. Additionally, people with insomnia may find themselves stuck in jobs they don't necessarily want to be in due to their inability to commit to a job that demands their full attention. If you find yourself looking for a job while you're struggling with insomnia, it can be difficult to even secure a job. Heavy fatigue can diminish your enthusiasm and your energy level, making the interview process much more difficult. Being able to maintain a healthy state of mind necessary for the interviewing process is equally important, and those with insomnia are often at a disadvantage due to their exhaustion and lack of sleep. As a result, insomnia can significantly limit a person's job opportunities. Here's how much more insomniacs spend on healthcare than people who don't have sleep problems. Individuals with insomnia had average annual healthcare costs of $4,267 greater than employees without insomnia. That's $11,206 for individuals with insomnia versus $6,939 for those without. A significant contributor to the difference in healthcare costs for those with insomnia is pharmaceutical spend. 75% of people with insomnia are prescribed medication. While medication helps short-term management of insomnia, it also may have dangerous side effects of daytime sedation, cognitive impairment, and risk of dependence. Sleep problems are often a cause and a result of other medical conditions, leading to additional healthcare costs. When insomnia-specific treatments like medication were removed from the analysis, individuals with insomnia still had 85% higher healthcare costs than those without insomnia. Those costs are linked with the treatment of comorbidities that poor sleep increases the risk of developing, like depression, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. Why are healthcare costs so high with insomnia? The healthcare costs can be significant. As insomnia often leads to elevated stress levels, this can result in a number of health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, depression, and obesity. Treating these illnesses can place a huge financial burden on people who struggle with insomnia, as the treatments and medications required can become extremely costly. In addition, those with insomnia are at an increased risk of being involved in accidents due to their fatigue and inability to remain alert. The psychological and emotional distress caused by insomnia can lead to further mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. These can be difficult and time-consuming to treat, and the treatments do not always produce desirable results. Furthermore, people with insomnia often turn to drugs and alcohol in an attempt to cope with their fatigue, and this can lead to costly habit-forming behavior, resulting in further financial and personal losses. The combination of physical and mental health issues that can result from insomnia can lead to significant financial burdens, as the resources needed for treatments for physical and mental illness can be daunting. In addition, those with insomnia may require professional services for help in learning healthy sleep habits, which further add to their overall costs. As a result, insomnia can end up being very expensive for a person's overall healthcare costs. Drugs and alcohol also come with hidden costs. Drugs and alcohol are a big expense that people use to cope with the fatigue and mental struggles associated with insomnia. People with insomnia might find themselves turning to sleep medications, marijuana, or alcohol to help sleep. And when they wake up, they may spend a lot of money on stimulants to help stay awake. This is also a habit that can become very costly and can put the user at risk of addiction. They can also easily rack up hundreds of dollars each month. These substances can cause unwanted side effects and lead to other conditions which are expensive to treat. This can create even more problems on top of insomnia, which will likely still persist. Ready to say goodbye to insomnia? Insomnia has taken America by storm with disastrous consequences. As a nation, we average 2 hours less sleep per night than we did 150 years ago. Every minute of lost sleep has a profound effect on our cognitive functioning and behavior. It has ruined many careers and relationships, and it causes an obscene amount of car crashes and contributes to drug and alcohol addiction. However, there are natural ways to train your mind and body to fall asleep on command. These clinically proven methods have been developed for the military, professional athletes and musicians, and other busy professionals who are stressed out and need to sleep when they have spare time. When time is of the essence, they need to fall asleep in 60 to 120 seconds. You can get your hands on these 60-second sleep secrets for yourself so that you can avoid car crashes, loss of job opportunities, dependency on alcohol and drugs, and extra thousands of dollars spent on healthcare each year. Live the life you want with the peace of mind and health that only comes from a good night's rest. Go to depressedamerican.com to grab your copy of the short PDF report, Fall Asleep in 60 Seconds Without Sleep Meds. Just go to the section of depressedamerican.com that talks about better sleep, start here, better sleep, and hit the blue button that says learn more. Good luck.